The following, the following is a data analytics and visualization presentation by Group 4 in Dr. Paige Retner's MMIS 6293 course. Group 4 is comprised of Sam Adams, Guillermo Ledezma, and Calvin Mapp. I am Richard Catlin, and I will discuss an overview of data analytics. Data analytics, in contemporary information technology related terms, is the act of providing data for processing to inform decision-making by organizational leadership, either in the form of empirically focused information or, when impacting financial and/or project outcomes and processes, business intelligence. Usually, this empirical processing usually comes in the form of various degrees of statistical analysis, which may incorporate a number of variables. However, modern data analytics may leverage different forms of collection and processing, which may be inputted manually or automatically from a traditional database, or conglomerated for greater processing through collection of big data. In this context, big data is a myriad of variables of metadata and items of historical interest which are collected and conglomerated into databases which may or may not directly categorize the collected data. These data, whether directly collected or big data variables, may then be processed for predictive or business analysis for decision makers. Often, these data are presented in a way which is easy for an educated user to input and output for specific business intelligence or analytical objectives. This process is known as data visualization. There are a number of tools available for data visualization and business intelligence, both proprietary and open source, which have varying degrees of capability. These data visualization and business intelligence tools may be compatible with artificial intelligence and machine learning capabilities in some cases, not only to assist the educated user in creating and maintaining the data analytical processes and programs for usage, but may also provide other available data to improve the predictive analytical process, which even the educated user may not have foreseen as pertinent. These algorithms may not only assist in finding appropriate relational data for informing decision-making, but may also assist in organization of the data into storage by defining data relationships on behalf of the educated user, thus refining the interface itself. Perhaps the most important aspect of data analytics, and specifically data visualization, is these processes and relations which both AI ML algorithms and/or the educated user may prepare are made into products which are easily digestible and understandable by organizational decision makers and stakeholders, with the assumption they do not have the same expertise as the educated user who prepared the data. In other words, what makes modern IT-related data analytics special is it can take these hosts of variables, relationships, processes, and other relevant factors in quantities perhaps beyond the realm of normal human understanding, build a product which is more directly linked to human psychological processing in a context of limited time. Modern data analytics is the culmination of business moving towards empirical and quantitative reasoning as the primary motivator for decision-making to maximize profits to shareholders or general outcomes of organizations which may or may not be financially motivated.
Hi all. I'm Guillermo Ledezma, and today I will be presenting on advantages and disadvantages of data analytics and visualizations for decision makers, to piggy off from Richard's point about decision making. I will start off with advantages. A lot of times, decision makers are faced with comparing multiple scenarios to make the best decision possible. The traditional methods require reading and analyzing lengthy reports. This could take a good amount of time, and the circumstances could change after concluding a decisive answer from traditional reports. However, data visualizations help compare the scenarios at hand, and through a dashboard or a small subset of dashboard, they can come up with a better answer at a quicker time. For instance, the top right data visualization represents the most flights operations by airlines. It consists of multiple airlines in the United States throughout the 52 weeks of the year. This visual allows decision makers to see that Southwest Airlines operates the most flights versus having to read individual reports for each airline, which is very time conserving. In addition, airline companies are affected by seasons, holidays, or events throughout the year. It's important to learn the relation between a given point in time and events that occur to find a correlation to help understand the issues at hand or flight operations in this case. We can leverage this information to increase flights for the corresponding instance of a new season, holiday, or event. Lastly, A benefit of data ability Lastly, a benefit of data visualization is the ability to use geographic information systems and create spatial information. It works well with data queries and statistical analysis to provide information such as the bottom right screenshot, and can inform decision makers at airports which state has the longest departure delays by state. The ability to gather geographical information from GPS technologies gives accurate information and allows for better predictions and precise analysis. Overall, these three advantages are a small picture, but help create a visualized dashboard with informative information for decision makers to gain a competitive advantage and be successful. Moving forward to disadvantages. A picture can mean 1,000 things when it comes to data visuals, but it may not capture the whole picture we're trying to see. Improper visualizations sometimes can lead to incorrect information, and that information can be spread out, which is not really good. How can this happen, you may ask yourself? Let us remember that photos can be photoshopped by a person, and visualizations can be created to fit our narrative too. Sometimes humans forget to include all parts of a visualization to communicate what the visual is representing. For instance, on the top right corner, you see the new case per day visual. This might look right to you to begin with, however, there's incorrect labels, and the dots are too large to represent actually what we're trying to see. It gives an inaccurate where the dot is pointing to, and the y-axis is starting at 30, which it should really start at 0. And March 18th should start at March 1st and go all the way to April 1st. These are just a few examples of what's wrong with this visual. And the one below it is called pie chart. You see that each quadrant has 80%, which does not really add to 100. That is not good because usually pie charts are meaning it's out of 100. This makes it difficult to understand what we are interpreting. With the lack of labels and legend on the new case per day visual, it does not mean that visualizations are accuracy proof. That is, data visuals give estimation and not accuracy. Translating data into pictorial data is very difficult, and it just gives the perception of having good data assessment. This is because data must be gathered, diced, and sliced, and analyzed before the visualization happens. Depending on what the stage data is at, human error can occur and cause data to be dirty, which results in bad information. The information of data for visualization occurs at the human level, and that is great. However, the person who gathers and manipulates data will be concerned with their interests. This can result in excluding other important information or data, which will lead to biased visuals. Visuals are the opposite, and they are meant to be informative and bring new knowledge to light. In summary, data analytics and visualizations together help decision makers move into the right direction for their company. It will allow them to see trends, patterns, and relationships that could be leveraged for competitive advantages. However, they should keep in mind to proceed with an open mind when gathering data and formulating visualizations. This will create great pictorial data and a cohesive dashboard.
Hello, my name is Sam Adams, and I will be covering the costs and benefits of data analytics and visualizations. The first thing we will cover is one of the daunting portions of data analytics for most managers: costs. Analytics services in business are high-value investments whose costs and benefits can be difficult to estimate, which can lead to business executives being reluctant to adopt the use of analytics. Prices can range, and analytics are highly customizable, leading to variable pricing and outcomes that range depending on several things. Some of the variables that affect pricing are the amount of data and how complex the data is, as well as the industry in question. Data-driven often means answering the wrong question, but what is the right question? And what is the cost of bad data analytics? According to an article published in MIT Sloan, the cost of bad data is estimated to be 15 to 25% of revenue for most companies, and 2/3 of these costs can and should be identified and eliminated. The article titled "Making Advanced Analytics Works for You" mentioned spending piles of money on data warehousing programs that never ended up meshing with business processes for companies. This is a really good concept to mention here as a cost. While using data analytics can have a heavy upfront cost associated with it, failing to identify the objectives and use of the data can really be costly and can lead to major failures. Now let's move on to benefits. One of the articles from our assigned reading cites competitive differentiation as a key factor derived from data-driven strategies. Since what must be the beginning of time, businesses have had a need to stand out and differentiate themselves from their competition. Data analytics can help them do this. One way this can be done is by using data analytics to learn about your customers and your potential customers. Even with this being the case, an article from MIT Sloan in 2020 estimates that less than 5% of companies use their data and data science to gain an effective competitive advantage. The possibilities are endless. For example, The Economist estimates that data is worth up to $2 trillion in the US. And the saying, data is the new oil, speaks for itself. Moving on to how visualizations shape our lives, let's start with a comparison. Take a look at this slide. Which half is more appealing and grabs your attention better and helps convey the message before I even start explaining it? If you're anything like me, it's the information on the left. With that being said, let's dive right into the costs and benefits of data visualizations. Visualizations, thankfully, are becoming more and more affordable thanks to advancements in technology. In addition to becoming more affordable, it is easier than it used to be to convey information in more appealing ways. While that sounds like a huge win, it is not hard for that to turn into a cost associated with visualizations. As it becomes easier and more affordable to create visualizations of data, it is also becoming easier to demonstrate and portray the wrong information or the right information to the wrong audience. One benefit of a visualization is the interpretation. Much like that old saying, pictures speak 1,000 words, looking at a pie chart or a bar graph sure does sound a lot better than trying to analyze hundreds or thousands of rows of a spreadsheet to me. And chances are, your stakeholders will appreciate data visualization tools too. In addition to the ease of understanding, visualizations are more appealing than those long, daunting spreadsheets, and they also add more context.
Hello, so today I'll be presenting a little bit about how we use data analytics and visualization. So for cost-saving projects, we are able to use data analytics and visualization to help portray the overall image of how much we're saving. And I know I've used this in the past with previous companies and the current company that I'm with now to present those savings. Presenting quarterly earnings, I know this is a good way for companies to be able to track how much they are earning per month or quarterly. So I know a lot of companies use data analytics. Tracking progress on projects is another way that you can use data analytics and visualization. I know Excel is a good way to do that. And then also measuring efficiency in operations. So with my company that I'm with now, we use a lot of analytics and visualizations to help us track how efficient we are being. And this data analytic system that we use uploads information every 15 minutes that it pulls from other systems that we have using AI. So next I would like to talk about some analytic tools that we have available for us. So the first one is SAS. So SAS has been around for 1976. So they're doing something right, and they have continued to innovate and be a leader in data analytics. The next one is Excel. So Excel is probably one of the most popular ones ever. If you think about it, we've been using it since we were little kids up to our big corporation jobs and even in college. So Excel has continued to improve, and I would say that the older I've gotten, the more I've learned about Excel. For example, I was not aware that you could actually take data from a system and plug it macros into Excel, and it'll populate all this different data for you, and it'll be able to visualize it for you. So I'm an intermediate in it, but I want to be an expert one day. So it's a lot to learn. I'm excited to learn about Excel. The next one is SAP. So I do have little experience with SAP, and I do know that there's so many different things that you can do in SAP, and that's why it's very popular. It's a different versions, and they continue to improve as time goes on as well. So data analytics is actually present in our social life as well, believe it or not. For example, if you look at the screenshot to the right, that is something called screen time for our iPhone users. So on your iPhone, you're actually able to track how many minutes and hours that you spend on your phone in certain screens and in certain apps. So if you look at my time, you see that I've been on for 6 hours and 40 minutes, and that's my daily average. So don't judge. I do have a business that I run on my phone. So also another one is for Instagram users. There's insights on Instagram. So I have a business page on Instagram for my business, and you're actually able to track how many people are looking at your profile a day. You're able to track their age, where they're from, what other type of media that they look at on Instagram, and they all have it out in a nice layout for you as well. And also another one that's good for you that a lot of people don't know about because they're not creators, but for YouTube, YouTube creators, they have something called the studio, and that's the screenshot on the bottom. You're able to actually see how many people are viewing your channel. They let you know what time people are viewing your channel, what's the increase that you've had from the previous week or previous days or month to this month and the day ahead. So it allows you to be able to track how and what time to put out videos. So those are good tools that we use in our social lives that we don't even think about. So.
Data analysis has certainly led to an increase in optimization and profitability in business organizations. Data analytics, and by extension, data visualization, has empowered decision makers, even in organizations not driven by profit, to be more empirically focused in their mission sets and optimize resources on hand. The same could be said even in institutions like government and nonprofit, resulting in greater outcomes. A great deal of this comes from classic statistical analysis, but allows quantitative analysis of otherwise qualitative events, such as singular recurring events, or geospatial reasoning. However, as with any danger of analysis, relying too greatly on one methodology, no matter how refined the process, can lead to flawed reasoning and predictions, especially where confirmation bias may be a possibility. While these data analytical methodologies can be costly, organizations which deal with great enough volumes to benefit will certainly find themselves able to make decisions which have impacts beyond first-order profitability through optimization and efficiency. This is especially true when the data visualization tools are unavailable to give outputs to decision makers who have had little to no background in data, input, and interpretation. Some examples include organizational profitability visualization and prediction, to measurement of outcomes and prediction on specific programs and projects. The range of data analytic tools are from basic programs such as Excel to AI and machine learning fueled business intelligence applications, variable on what the investor is willing to impart. Data analytics are present in more facets of light than immediately perceivable. Indeed, even the common media consumer is a valuable source of data which holds a specific dollar profitability margin to some organization somewhere. As an industry, the indicators are strong. The field of data analysis and the harvesting of that data for analysis are only increasing in value to marketing, to businesses, even to governments or other institutions who do not have profit-seeking missions. Thank you for your attention. Please see the projected references for further reading.